Okay, so the book actually says to go ahead and open up the portable file called Setup 18. So I'm going to go ahead and click here because I want a portable file. I'm going to click the last option and I'm going to go ahead and search for that file. Let me see. 18, then it goes portable files, class copy. And it's asking me to go ahead and click setup 18. So here I have it right here, and I'm going to double click and it's going to ask me to save it on my desktop. Here is Sade. All right, can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, just just making sure, because, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and find my little folder that I designated to save my files, to save my workbook. Okay, so I put it in portable files under AM class right here. And I'm going to go ahead and click save. So this important chapter for chapter 12 is going to be talking about how to add, delete, remove, inactivate your accounts when you set up your chart of accounts. So it's very important what you can do and what you cannot do. Okay. So when you're starting out your business, you're going to create your chart of accounts. So you can create as many accounts you need to be able to do your business, and whether you need this account or not. Now, if you guys remember from our easy step interview or our initial startup, when we did the advanced settings, we went through a series of questions and it populated a generic chart of accounts for you, right? And how we are able to add stuff to the chart of accounts, it's either we go to the home page or we can go to list. Now, again, when you fill out that little questionnaire and you tell them that you are in the business of selling either a product or a good, a service, it's going to create generic accounts for you. There's some accounts that you may use, some accounts you may not use. And then, of course, like with that, you can customize it and personalize anything for your business. You don't have to use what they preset gave you, but it usually generally helps to give you an idea if you haven't had the chance to set up your chart of accounts yet. So again, chart of accounts, the accountant is going to be the one who gets to create the chart of accounts. All right. And if you have a secret, like a number, like a special sequence or a special account number that's associated to the account, it's, you can manually type that in as well. Okay. But there are a few rules and a few guidelines on when you can add things as well as delete them, remove them, inactivate them, okay? And that is what we're going to be going over today. All right, so my QuickBooks has been updated. Okay. Waiting. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and close out my new features tab here. And then it's just going to give you things in yellow to just let you know what is new about this new, the updates for QuickBooks. So again, in order to find your chart of accounts, you can either locate it here on your home page under company, or you can go to list and be able to see the chart of accounts there, right here, chart of accounts, first one, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click that and it's going to populate this right here. Very, very easy looking kind of form. I meant list, the way you could just go ahead and type it in and stuff. So what you can do is you can actually insert you can actually insert a new account by going to the bottom and clicking new. So as you can see, this chart of accounts does not show the numbers, and it does not show, it only shows the accounts and the account balances, but there is no numbers. And if you guys remember from when we did our beginning, so let's go ahead and turn on those account numbers. So we're going to go to edit and we're going to go to preferences. Okay. And I believe it's going to be under accounting, company preferences, and it should be here, use account numbers. So I'm going to click OK, and it should change my chart of accounts and add these numbers in here. Now, if you are adding new stuff, make sure that you reference the numbers so then when you create the account, you can go ahead and type in the number. It will not automatically create a number for you unless you take off your your numbers up in the edit preferences and then you reactivate it. Then it will assign numbers. But in this case, when we add stuff, it will leave the number blank because you need to associate a number with it because we already turned on our account numbers. Okay, so as you can see, all of our accounts are placed in order by account type, and there are 5 account types. Can anyone tell me what they are?
Assets,
Yes.
liabilities,
Yes.
equity,
Uh-huh.
income, and expenses.
Yes, that is correct. Now, in this case, for some reason, they decided to put other income and other, yeah. They put other income after expenses, which is weird because income actually belongs above it. But that's okay. That's because they formatted their chart of accounts this way. But for your company, you can create it however you want to. It's just generally recommended that it is in this order. Okay? And when you assign the numbers, it will be in the order that you assign it. Okay, so the first one's going to ask you to enter a brand new item in here. So let's go ahead and do that. So adding, I'm sorry, it says activating accounts, account numbers. We just did that. So here, now we're going to be adding in a new account. So adding accounts, okay? If for any reason you want to start adding, you're creating your chart of accounts, and you don't have the separate sheet in front of you, what you can do is, as you go, you can create as you go. Okay, so that's the great thing about QuickBooks is you don't need to have it set already. if there needs to be an account that needs to be created, make sure that the accountant is going to be the one that is doing that. Okay. Um, and yes, so with creating an account, you can accidentally create multiple accounts of that actually does the same thing. Again, it is also a duty for the accountant to make sure that they go through their chart of accounts to make sure there is no extra information in there. But this is how you are able to create a new account. So here we're going to go to the chart of accounts and we're going to create an account we're going to create an expense. And we're going to name it as, what are we going to name it as? Okay. Okay, account type. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Can someone please look up exactly what the account that we're actually adding in? What is it called? I can't find it. Chart of accounts.
You're on 358.
Yes. It says click the chart of accounts. We've already done that.
Yeah. The account name's VoIP, voice over IP, VoIP.
VoIP.
Yeah. The account name is
Oh, I
VoIP,
see it now. Okay.
over IP.
Okay. VoIP. Okay, perfect. So, and then this is a sub account to telephone expenses. So VoIP is what we need to create. So again, here we're at our chart of accounts. There is, let me see. You can right click the chart of accounts and add new, or you can go to the bottom to the account and select that drop down, select that little triangle, and then you're able to create a new account. All right. So here again, this window asks, well, what kind of account do you want to create? Most commonly that you would often do is when you're creating your chart of accounts, if you're going on a day-to-day basis, you are more likely to create along the way either an income or an expense account. Now you can, if you're setting up your chart of accounts and you're starting fresh, brand new, this is where you can go ahead and enter all your information. So I'm going to go ahead and click expense, and I'm going to click continue. Now here it's going to ask you what you want to name your account and what does it do and what does it belong to. So here it's VoIP, and the description is a voice. You say it was voicemail?
No, voice over internet provider.
Internet provider. Okay. So then it's going to ask you to select this sub account. So what this is it's going to categorize this specific account under a main account, which is an already preset or pre-made account. In this case, it's telephone expense. So when we're looking at a main account, right? A main account is kind of like an umbrella organization, right? It holds other things. What makes up this telephone expense, right? or yes, what makes up this telephone expense. So what happens that is this is when we select to click a sub account, we're going to categorize it right under it, as in it belongs to telephone expense. So every time we get a telephone bill, this is this little small section that is divided is going to be that voice over internet provider. So again, let's go ahead and look at the number that we are supposed to assign it. We are assigning it as 68180. Okay, 68180. Okay, and let's see, is that all the information we need to provide for description, notes, and okay, good. So I think that is it, and then we can go ahead and click save and close. So here it's going to automatically highlight it for you right here. Here is the VoIP right here. Okay. Now again, it falls under the category of telephone expense. Okay, so it belongs under this category. So the main account is the overall, I guess how we describe it as, it's a vague account. Like it could describe anything. For example, inventory, right? Inventory is going to be a standard main account. What you sell, like for example, I sell picture frames, I sell camera lenses. That is going to be a specific item, and that's going to fall under inventory. So therefore, inventory is the main account, and anything that basically breaks down the inventory into certain sections or specific items that you sell, that's considered a sub account. Okay, so the main account and the sub account, they're just in other words, it's more detailed to the main account. So as you can see, we have a sub account here. We have a sub account here under payroll expenses, right? Under payroll expenses, you have employee benefits, you have gross wages, and you also have it says officers compensation. Okay, so all of those are subsections that make up what the total payroll expense is. Okay, so okay, and then now it's going to ask us, so that's how you enter in data. Enter in a new account under the chart of accounts. Now here, now you do have an option to remove, or in other words, we call it delete. Now in this specific section here, it's going to highlight a few things that you have to do and can or cannot do. So you have two options, okay? Now, option number one is going to be, you're going to select it, and then you're just going to right click it and delete it completely. Now, there is a condition to deleting this account. Now, if you keep on reading, it's going to say that if the account has been used, okay, you are actually unable to delete it. Reason being is because if you've created statements with it, if you've created invoices with it, unfortunately, you are unable to remove it without messing up your entire your entire book. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, if you have reports, statements, anything that's linked to that account, what's going to happen if you delete it? You're going to pull out all that information and it's going to be gone. Okay, so therefore, all your statements that you've done in the past, you can't access them because now everything's mumble jumble because you got rid of that account. So, option one is if you have not used that account, right? If it has zero balance and it's never been used, you are able to remove it completely. And for example, I'm not going to do it, but I will show you what you can do. For example, vehicles, right? I didn't buy a vehicle yet. I got $0 out of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it and I'm going to delete it. Delete account. All right. Then it's going to say, are you sure you want to delete your account? You say, okay, but I'm not going to do that. All right. And you can also go down to account and you're able to delete it as well. Okay. Again, if you if you have not used it and it's just sitting in your chart of accounts and you're never going to actually ever use it, then it's okay to delete. But what they suggest you to do is, if let's say, I'm gonna try to find my I'm gonna try to find my inventory part. So that is should be a current asset. So, for example, my inventory asset, right? I'm pretty sure I used it because I'm in the business of selling picture frames and whatnot. If I use this and for some reason I don't need it anymore, I completely get rid of all my picture frames and become just only a service business. What I can do here is I can right click it, and what's going to happen is I'm going to make this account inactive. Okay, so what that does in your books is it's not going to show up anymore. You didn't get rid of it. It's still there, so you can always activate it again. But also, like, let's say I'm going to make it inactive because I don't have it anymore. So what happens is it completely got rid of it, and now you don't have it anymore in your chart of accounts. Okay, so I inactivated my inventory asset, right? Because I don't sell it anymore. So now it's no longer visible on my chart of accounts. Okay. So before I dive into the next section, let's go ahead and continue on with the lesson to make sure I finish out deleting the actual item. Okay. Okay, so that's to reorder it, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with what I was saying earlier on how to make them active and inactive. So, as you just saw, when I made it inactive, it completely got rid of it off my chart of accounts. Now, if you go to the bottom of the page, you're able to see accounts. You also look at archives. And then if you look all the way here to the middle, it says it include inactive accounts. So if I select that, what's going to happen is a lot of my accounts are going to show up. So again, if I look up here under my inventory asset, it is right there. Okay, so once I do the include inactive accounts, you're going to notice this little X right here. This little X right here is just indicating which ones are active and which ones are not active. So in this case, I only have that one account. I should have another account, but that is what happens when you see to determine which ones are inactive and which ones are active. Now, if I actually were to click that X button, it's going to reactivate my account. So now it shows up here. And if I were to click this, I won't be able to click it because I don't have any more inactive accounts. So just by clicking that X button, it will reactivate your account. You can also reactivate it by, if I were to make my account inactive, I'd be able to do that by also just right clicking it and then just reactivating again. Make account active again. Okay? So this is when you want to delete or remove accounts, okay? Strong recommendation is not to delete anything in QuickBooks just because for legal issues. But again, if for any reason that this has happened to you, let's say you've created an extra account or you're using an extra account, you want to make sure that that it's okay to properly delete it. But in other words, you definitely want to just make the account inactive if you're no longer potentially going to use it. Okay? And so, yeah. So that's how you actually would delete accounts in the chart of accounts. All right? Now, there is another section in the book that I also want to talk to you about, and it is actually in regards to merging accounts. So let me see, here it is, merging accounts. So, again, if you created an account and it is, it functions the same way as another account. For example, this one I'll show you. For example, we're going to create a new item, and we're going to name it as, hold on. So we're going to right click on the 62600 entertainment, and there, and then select edit the account. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we see that there are two accounts. We can see that we got meals and entertainment, and we have just regular entertainment. So let's go ahead and validate that. So right there is an expense. And if you have trouble finding it, you can go ahead and type it in, and it will pull you up exactly there. Okay, so MEL, meals. Okay, so here, I see meals and entertainment right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and remove that so I can see all my accounts. Okay? And let me see, meals right here, it all automatically populated it for me right here because that was the last thing I checked out. So I have meals and entertainment here as 64300. Now let's go ahead and scroll down to find that entertainment option here. I believe it was for the account for the account 626. So this one is 64. So if we go up 626 right here, I don't have it. Okay. 626. All right. Let me see if I have to create it. So here it's going to ask you to make sure, and it says right click on 600 entertainment, but I don't have that window. So I'm going to go ahead for this example. I'm going to go ahead and create this account right here so I'm able to see it. And what's going to happen is I'm going to merge these two accounts together. So let me see. So I think I have to create entertainment and then select edit account and close and enter meals and entertainment. So we have meals and entertainment already. And I'm going to go ahead and create this account real quick. So I'm going to go to here and I'm going to create, I'm going to double check. Let me see that I don't have it. Okay, so I for surely do not have it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create this account real quick.
Lynn, are you including your inactive? Because right above that, it shows that that one's inactive.
Let me see. I don't have any inactive accounts.
Okay, that's just what I'm just looking at what the book's showing.
Okay, yeah. No, I think I was supposed to make that. That's the account that I was supposed to show you how to make inactive. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new account, just because I for surely made sure I did not have it at all, and it's an expense, and I'm gonna go ahead and click continue, and this one is called meals and I think it's meals. No, this one is just entertainment. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Entertain. Meant for was it 6 to 600? And it is not a sub account. I'm just gonna go ahead and just write yeah, I think I just write meals and entertainment. So then I'm going to go ahead and click save and close. So here it pops right up here. I just created this account right here. And so I've been using it and I just realized, wait, I have meals and entertainment right here. Okay, so this is where you have to be very careful, because if you're going to merge these two accounts together, you need to select the one that you do not want anymore. Okay? Let's go over that again. The account that you do not want anymore. So in this case, I actually don't want this this entertainment account. I actually want to merge it with the meals and entertainment so then they go together. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look at this account for meals and entertainment, and I'm going to look at the account number. So it's 64300 here, okay? I'm going to select the account that I do not want, so I don't want entertainment, and I'm going to go ahead and edit this account. And what's going to happen is I'm going to type in exactly what the account name is. So I just want to make sure I don't make a typo. Entertainment. And you're going to go up to here, the account number, and you're actually going to fix it so they are identical. So I think it was, let me do that again. 64800. Okay. Same thing. Okay. So you're going to make sure that they match identical. So this is meals and entertainment. It's account number 6800. And you're going to click, save and close. Then it's going to say, this name is already been used. Would you like to merge them to? And you want to say yes. And then you should get a snapshot of approval if you have your sound on. Okay? And if you notice, here, I no longer have entertainment. It became meals and entertainment. Okay? So this is also one of the more important things that I need you guys to also know as far as this particular when you're setting up your accounts. Okay? So, again, when you're merging your accounts together, you want to make sure that you're going to select the one you do not want, and you're going to change it to merge it to the one that you do want. Okay? So with that, that is pretty much going to that's pretty much setting up your chart of accounts. You can read the rest, so how to put it in order, other things like that. It's yeah. So again, this is order based on account number. If you want it to not be based on that, you can go ahead and select this little arrow here, and it should just change the order for you. So this one's going to be changing it by name. Okay, and then this was going to validate it by the actual number. Okay. Other than that, that's how you add, delete / remove or inactivate your accounts and to merge them, because that is very, very important that you know how to do it and what are the reasons behind it. Now, again, if you're merging your accounts, just make sure that you know that everything that you've used with those two accounts, they're going to actually be together. So you're never going to know what the actual real beginning, what you started with, the balance is. So the minute you merge it, you cannot unmerge it, okay? You cannot separate it, okay? So make sure that this is for surely what you want to do, because it's going to go back to all the accounts, to all the things that you've done using that account, and it's going to replace it with meals and entertainment. So it's going to, again, it's going to change everything and make everything uniform. Okay? Any questions about the small section in chapter 12? Okay? That is definitely something very important I want to make sure I go over. Okay? Next section we're going to go over is going to be chapter 4. So if you guys remember what chapter 4 was, this was dealing with all of your vendors, okay? This is adding your vendors, right? Adding bills, paying bills, and I think that's as far as it goes up to, okay? And how to write a check and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward all the way to the end of this chapter. We went over almost everything in this book, in particular to this entire chapter. I think there was only like a couple sections that I've asked you to read on your own. But let me see. And we also went over the review questions. So today I want to spend some time so you guys can have time to practice actually the actual book exercises. So here I want to do exercise problem 1. So I'm going to go ahead and close my company, and I'm going to go ahead and open up expenses 18. Okay, so expenses 18. So how do I properly close my company? I can either go file and I can close company. And do I need to save it? That was a question. No, you do not need to save it, because the minute you close your company, you know, every time you enter in data into QuickBooks, it automatically saves it for you. Okay, so no need to do Control S. All right, and now I'm back here at the home page, and I'm going to go ahead and open up expenses 18, problem 1. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and find my file. Okay, so documents of LVPDA, accounting, QuickBooks class. And I'm going to be looking for expenses 18, problem 1. All right. And I'm going to save it. Okay. So while I wait for this to load, did you guys have any questions from chapter 12?
No.
Okay. All right. So okay, so here it's going to ask me to activate class tracking. Okay. Then it's going to ask me to add a new vendor. And okay, password is Sleater18. All right. Waiting for my home page to load. There you go. Okay, so it asks you to first activate class sections. What is it called? I want you to activate classes. Okay. So, class tracking. Can anyone remember where would I find class tracking and how do I activate it? Hmm? First off, what is a class tracking? What does it do? Everyone's still there, right? Just making sure. So, what is class tracking?
Allows you to better define your transactions.
Yes, that's close, David, but it also allows you to separate them via whether it's line of product, department, location of the store. So what you can do that is once you've created those files or you separate those transactions, you're able to create and for example, um, Academy Photography, right? They have a store in San Jose and they have a store in Walnut Creek. What they can do is they can do profits and see which store is actually doing better. Okay, so how do I activate that?
Select the edit menu,
You go to edit,
preferences,
preferences, yes. All right. And which section are we going to be looking into?
accounting,
Okay. Yes. Is when you see use class tracking for transactions, yes. So once you've selected this, you're going to click OK, and then it may or may not change something into your thing. Now, so now every time you fill out a form, it's going to require you to enter in a class. Okay? So let's go ahead and determine if we even have those classes, since we just activated it, right? So let's look at our class list. So here, okay, so we already have it as San Jose, Walnut Creek, and we have okay, we have overload. I'm sorry, overhead. So do we have three things that we have three classes already set in here? All right. If you need to create a class, you can go ahead and do the same thing. Click here and create a class, or you can actually create it while you are doing while you fill out your form. You could do a quick add. All right. So now it's asking me to do what? What does number 2 ask?
add a new vendor to the vendor list.
Yes. And how do we do that?
Click on vendors, create new.
Yes, you can click on vendors. Oh, sorry. Vendors where? On the menu bar?
Homepage, menu bar, or icon bar.
Good, good. Now, let's say I don't want to do that. I'm going to go into the vendor center. Okay, and here I have the option to either, let me go ahead and expand my window here so I can see my vendors. I can go up here at the top and click new vendor. And I would be able to right click and click new vendor. Okay, so that is 5 ways you can get to the to enter a new vendor. Okay, so from the home page, yes. From the vendors menu, yes. From the icon bar to get to the vendor center, yes. Okay, then you have up here, and then you can just right click anywhere and click new vendor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that since I'm already there. So new vendor, so if someone could please, help me fill out this information out for this video services. So virtual video services. All right. Oh. Okay, so company name or vendor name. Okay, so company name is virtual video services. Okay,
In the book, it's East Bay Photography Services. On page 141.
141 company name.
Or am I looking at the wrong problem?
You might be. I'm on 140, so you might be.
Okay. I'm on the wrong problem. No problem.
Okay.
Now I'm on the right one.
Okay. All right. So on page 140, we have video, virtual video services. So, again, if you could please help me fill this out. Okay, so virtual video services is here. Okay. Anything else? So that's their company name. Okay. Who is the person we are going to be entering in here? I think it's a miss.
Heather Miller.
Heather, does she have a middle name?
None.
No?
None.
None. Okay. So I have Miss Heather Miller. Okay. What is her job title?
Don't have one.
Don't have one? Okay. So what is the main phone number for her?
510
Mm-hmm.
555
Mm-hmm.
8682.
Perfect. All right. Does she have a work phone or a mobile phone
None.
or a fax? None. Okay. Good. Now, what about her main email? Does she have an email?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it?
It's Miller at virtual video
Let me go ahead and see.
4 as in number 4,
Mm-hmm.
U as in USA,
Mm-hmm.
and then .us.
All right. So once we have that, then it's going to be her website will be virtual video for you .us. Okay. And then her address.
Her address is Virtual Video Services,
Mm-hmm.
Heather Miller,
Mm-hmm.
3599,
3599.
yes, Redwood Way.
Red, as in the color red.
Yeah, red as in the color red, and wood as in wooden. And then way, it's another word.
Mm-hmm. Wait. And then
Dublin,
is it DUBLIN?
yeah, Dublin, CA,
Mm-hmm.
94508.
8. Okay. And then is her shipping address the same as her billing address?
Doesn't say.
I'll go ahead and make that assumption. Um, and I'm just gonna make that assumption. I'm gonna click OK. Okay. Now, what else do we need to fill out with her? Do we have an account number with her?
Yeah, she has.
Okay, what is it?
It's 576 225.
All right. And the next question is there a payment terms that we have with her?
Net 30.
Just net 30. Okay. So again, doing this is just like filling out a form. Do we have a credit limit with her?
I don't see any at all.
Okay, and then do we have a do we have sorry, I can't remember, a billing rate or a billing rate level?
There is none.
Okay, and then lastly, fully, okay, is this one okay, the video services?
Yes.
Okay, so next section is going to be taxes. Does she have a tax ID number?
Yes, she has.
Okay.
It's 888
Okay.
77
Okay.
9999.
Perfect. And then is she a independent contractor for us? Is she a 1099?
Doesn't say. Oh, yeah, she is.
Okay, perfect. Make sure you validate that, because when you select she is an independent contractor, what happens is the government is going to take this number and verify that she is an independent contractor. All right. Next is going to be account settings. So what kind of accounts is associated with this specific vendor?
Is that the vendor type?
No. This is the vendor type is going to be the next part, but if there isn't anything in here, like I have no cost associated with her.
Well, I don't see any at all.
Okay. I guess that we can always edit this next. We can always edit this at any time. So then we'll
Would
go
it
ahead.
be the professional fees or no?
I'm sorry. Go ahead and say that again.
Would it be, it says account pre-filled professional fees?
Oh, okay. So we're going to go for her for professional fees. Yes, we do have that option available. Yes, professional fees. Okay, and she can have multiple accounts or accounts associated with her. Okay. All right. Now vendor type. What is she?
Consultant.
She's a consultant. Okay. All right. And what county does she belong into?
Alameda.
A L E.
A. It's an A.
Oh, A.
M. As in mama.
IDA.
No, it's an E. E as in echo. D as in dog. A as in apple.
Okay, there you go. I always have trouble with that one. So Alameda. Now, is there anything specific that you want to know about this vendor in particular? Is there any additional information you want to know? I'm just going to go ahead and use spouse's name for this one. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have it for my customer too. I'm going to click OK. Oh, I'm sorry. OK here. And I'm going to say do not display this message and click OK. Now I'm going to say her husband is named Billy. I don't know. Make something up. Billy. Billy. Okay, Billy. All right. Once I've completed all of those sections, I'm going to click OK. And then I should get, she should show up right here in green at the bottom. Okay. Good. So remember, there are 5 ways to get to the vendors. There's 3 ways to get to the vendor center, but 5 ways to enter in a new vendor. Okay. Make sure you know all those 5 ways. Okay. So the next question asks me is, number 3, print the vendor I'm so sorry. Print the vendor's contact list out. That's okay. I do not have that, but if you were to print that out, you can go File, and you would go to Print. Oopsies. You would go to Print List, or Print Lists, and then it's gonna ask you. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me close out of this first. So you're gonna go to File, and you should click Print Forms. And here it's gonna ask you, well, what do you want to do? I want to print out.
This report's under reports.
Right, it's under reports. Okay, so we go to reports, we go to vendors and payables, and then we're going to go ahead and find the vendor contact list. Yes. Okay, and then it should be at the top of here should be print. Yes, print. So you can print the report, or you can save as a PDF. So it's pretty cool. You should be able to print it out there too under file print, but okay, but I guess they teach you to do it this way. Okay, so here I'm going to, maybe I'll just pretend I'm saving it, so or print it. Okay. And then what does the next question ask you to do? Question number 4. Check number 331. Okay, directly into checking register. Okay, so we're going to enter this check directly into the check register. Okay, for January 8th, for Oswald Office Supply. Okay, for the amount of $725. Use quick add to add the vendor. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So how do we get to our check register? There are 3 ways you can get to your check register. How do you get to your check register?
Homepage under banking, check register,
Yes.
or you can go to the menu bar under banking,
Yes. Under banking.
and then if it's on your icon bar, then it would be over there too.
All right. That is actually not one of the ways you can do that. But yes, if you do set up your icon bar, it will be there. Yes, it will be the chart of accounts. That's correct. So you go to your chart of accounts, and you can double click your checking account, and it will take you right into the check register. Okay, so then it asks us to enter in January 8th. Okay. In this case, I have February. I'm gonna do February 8. Is that what it says? February 8 or January 8?
January.
I'm gonna do February just because of the way that the check register is looks like. Again, I can't do anything back in the past. I mean, I could try. Let me see. If I were to do February 8 of 2019, okay, and my check number is 331, automatically fills for me. Pay is going to be Oswald. Supply. And that's gonna ask me, do you want to do a quick add? And I'm gonna say yes, quick add. And who is it? A vendor, customer, or employee? It's a vendor, so I'm gonna click OK. And then now it's gonna ask me for the what did you buy? And for the account associated, we bought office supplies, and I think I forgot to write office in there. And that's okay. Okay, so it's a vendor to us. Okay, so Oswald Office Supplies, and we bought office supplies for the total amount of, is it 275?
$725.
Oh, 725. Okay, 725. $725. And then I'm gonna click OK, or I'm just gonna enter it, and it validated my actual thing here. So I have it here for the month of 2019. All right, so let me go ahead and check upon this, and I do want to let you guys go on a break real quick, but let me see how many more questions we have. So we have quite a few questions, so if you guys want to push through just to finish up this last section and then just take a break, or I think maybe like 30 more minutes, and then I could let you guys take a break at 10:30. And we could do a 20-minute break, and then we'll move on to the customers afterwards. So let's sit tight for the last three questions. So question and I forgot to write here San Jose. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish this off. So here you're going to vendor. Then we're going to enter split the expense $435 for office supplies for San Jose store and $290 for the office supplies for Walnut Creek. So $435 and $290. So you guys remember how to do a split payment? Okay, how do you do a split payment? Anybody, how do you do a split payment?
Since you already recorded it, there's a shortcut. I'm not really sure. You can double click between the line between 331 and Oswald, and it'll bring it back up again.
Yep. I think you have to click the date, and it's gonna. Yep. There you go.
And then you just go down to the bottom and change that out.
Okay. And I can't remember what was the number. Was it 4?
435 for office supplies, San Jose.
Mm-hmm. And then this one is for 290, which automatically calculates for you. And this here is also office supplies. Okay, the only difference is one is going to, let me drag it over here, to the San Jose class. And then this one's going to go to Walnut Creek. All right. Click save. Do you want to save the transaction? Yes. Okay. So here we still have the 725. However, it is split between the San Jose and the Walnut Creek location. All right, let's go ahead. And then what is the next question? Now it's going to ask us to enter a bill. Okay. Enter a bill for Sinclair Insurance for January 17. All right, for $12.10. Okay. In terms of net 30. Code the bill insurance expense. Okay. Allocates 100% of the cost to the San Jose location. All right. So let's go ahead and look at, let me go ahead and close this check register. And control. Okay, so now can you tell me how to enter the bill? Okay, there are 7 ways. How do we enter a bill?
Home screen, enter bills.
Mm-hmm. And yes, under vendors, yes, you can enter bills through vendors.
And then you can do it on your icon bar from vendors.
Mm-hmm. You could do the icon bar on your vendors. Yeah.
When you say 7 ways, I'm assuming you're going to vendors and then clicking on the vendor itself and creating a bill?
Correct. So, yes, so, for example, what is it, Sinclair? If I were to do that, I can also enter a bill here. Okay? So, that was 4 ways.
New transactions?
You could do new transaction, yes, at the top. You can enter a bill here.
Manage transactions?
Yes, you can do manage transactions, enter bill here. In this one, it's just called bills. Okay? And what
Click
is,
on the vendors, right, I think?
right, yeah, you could right click on the vendor is yes. Now, what's the last one? There is one more thing that I showed you guys. I'll give you a hint. It's on the icon bar.
The bill tracker?
If you click bill tracker and you click manage transactions, you can enter a bill this way. Yes, remember, that's the new one. That's the newest one we have here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to close this real quick and I'm just going to enter the vendor. Enter the bill. So I'm going to I'm going to actually select Sinclair Insurance. And I'm going to go ahead and enter a bill. Okay, enter bills. Okay, as we can see, her name should be in green. You're going to validate that, and I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to go ahead and click tab. And what's going to happen is all the information is going to fill in for you automatically. Now, the bill number or reference number, what is it? It's like a couple of digits.
84-6542.
84-6645.
6542.
6542. And then the date says that it wants it to be January 17. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. January 17, 2019. Okay, good. And then again, terms is here, net 30. The amount is for $1,210. So here it's going to say the payment is due on January 16. So we already missed it. Oh, well, assuming that we're supposed to be in December. Now it's going to ask me for discount rate. There is none. Memo. And I'm going to say rent for what was San Jose, right? San Jose store. And then I'm going to go ahead and it's going to validate here that I need to put it as rent expense. For $1,210, and I'm going to allocate it to San Jose.
Lynn,
Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be insurance, right? Yes?
should it be insurance expense or rent expense?
It should be insurance expense. My bad. I got that confused. So, insurance expense. And hold on, let me clear that out completely. Clear this out completely. And I'm going to do insurance expense. Okay. Insurance expense. And then I need to fix this one up here. To insurance for San Jose store. Okay. Again, 1210. It's up to you if you want to make another memo for that. And everything looks good. So here I enter the bill, and I'm going to go ahead and select save and close. And if you have sound, you should have the beep of approval. Okay, so here if I were to click Sinclair, right, I don't see anything until I toggle here and go ahead and click all transactions. And here I've received a bill right here. All right. And then what does question number 6 say? Create and print the unpaid bills details report for January 20th of 2019. So again, where can I find that? You're going to find that under reports. Okay. Under reports, under your vendors. And then you're going to see unpaid bills detail. Okay. And again, once you come up with this window, you should be able to print it at the top. Okay. Make sure that it is toggled for January 20th, it says. I don't think there's anything there for January 20th. Okay, and I'm going to click refresh. And, oh, I guess I got 2 bills right here. All right. And then you're going to head and click print from there. Now, what does question number 7 say? Pay all the bills due on before the February 20th, 2019. Pay the bill for with a checking account on 2/20, and start checking number is 332. All right. So the question is, we're going to go start paying our bills, okay? Now there are 8 total ways you can pay a bill. All right, and let's explore them. Oh, shoot, frick, I hit print. Okay. All right, so here we're already at the vendor center. What are the 8 ways you could pay a bill?
Pay bill on homepage.
You could pay the bill on homepage, yes, right here under pay bills. Where else can you pay your bills?
Can you go to the menu?
Yes, you can. Under vendors, you could either go to the vendor center, or you can actually pay the bill right here. Where else can you go?
The icon,
The icon bar, using what?
bill tracker, I guess?
Yes,
Or,
you-
no, income.
Not income. This is
The bill
us
tracker.
bill
Okay,
tracker.
right.
Yes, you can do that. Here, you go to bill. You can go to the bill tracker, manage transaction, pay bill, either credit card or check. Right? You can pay them. And then on the icon bar, where else can you go?
Vendor?
You can go to vendors on the icon bar. Let me go ahead and go through here. Now I'm at the vendor center. How can I pay my bill here?
New transaction?
You could go to new transaction. That's correct. New transaction here. Pay bill. Oopsies. Yeah, pay bill right here. Where else can you go?
I'll give somebody else a chance.
Anybody? There's 3 more ways.
You can right click in the vendors.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So let's say, what was it? Sinclair Insurance. I can go ahead and click her, and I can pay my bill here. And then the last 2. Say that again.
There's also the bill tracker right here on this menu now.
We already went over that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if you were considering it different because it's in this actual vendor center part. Up at the top.
Okay, good. But if you're going to the bill tracker anyways, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay. You can manage your transaction and pay your bill right here, bill payments. Or you can actually click on the bill and you have the pay bill option right here. Pay bill. Okay. So since we have this, it's asking me to pay all the bills in the month of before. I'm sorry. So we're just gonna go ahead and click pay bills in the general vendor center. And as you can see, we got 2 checks. We got 2 things that are pending to be paid, and it says to pay off both of them. And okay, but let me see. But it also has to be within that's due by due before the 20th of February. Is that correct? 20th of February. And when I do that, and once I do that, I could see that I still have those 2 things that I need to pay. And it says that I need to pay both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and check mark both of them. And I'm going to go ahead and go down to the bottom and make sure I verify all of these information. So if you want to, you can actually go to the bill. If you select this item, you can actually go to the bill just to make sure. If there's a discount period, then make sure you click set it. If there's a credit for it, you should be able to set it automatically because it's going to automatically tell you, hey, you have a credit available. But in this case, I don't have any credits available. I don't have any discounts because I missed the period and they didn't even give me anything. So here I want to make sure that the check that I write is going to be for the date of the 20th of February. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that it's going to be a check. And I'm going to print it later. Okay. It is supposed to be printed as the check number is 332, but I'm not going to print. I'm going to save that for later. And you're going to make sure that this check is going to come out of your checking. So as you can see, we're going to pay 2 different bills. So when I click pay bill, right? It's going to pay both of those bills, and I get a little menu here saying, okay, well, you have 2 checks waiting in your printer for the total of this. Do you want to print it now or print it later? And I say I'm going to print it later. So I'm going to go ahead and be done with that. So what's going to happen is if I go to my check register, oops, I hit the wrong icon. If I go to my check register on my home page, so I go to check register, I'm going to see that I have made 2 bill payments. Right here, I have it for Wong and Son, and then I have the other one for the Sinclair. Now, of course, the checks are not going to be assigned until you print it. So, but here it allows us to let us know that it has been done, it's been paid for, and yes. Okay. Okay, so right now it is 10:12. I am going